Hello everyone and welcome to another video on Java programming, and today we are going to cover how we can write down different type of comments in our program. Actually, comments are being used in the program to describe the program and write down description of the program that can be used for future, as well as it can be useful for the others who will review the code. In Java programming language, we used to have three different types of comments, and we can write down in three different ways in our programs. First, I will discuss about the basic details of these three different types of the comments. Then I will create a Java program in NetBeans and actually write down these three types of comments, and I will show you. The first type is single line comments. In single line comments, we can write down double slash at the start of the line, and then whole line will be considered as comment, and we can write down the description as we want. Normally, if we need to go for multiple lines of the comments, we used to go for the other types, but if we want to follow the single line commenting method, then we have to write down the 2 times slash for every line, whichever we want to consider it as comment. So the second type is multi-line comments. Multi-line comments are being used normally to describe the program or to write down the pseudocode or algorithmic description of the code. In multiple line comments, normally we used to start with the slash and star, and then we can write down as many number of lines as we want to have the comments, and when we have to finish the commenting part, then we have to again write down the star first and then the slash. So the starting of the multiple line comment will be slash star, and the end line or the last line will end with the star slash, and in between that we can write down as many number of lines of comments as we needed. The third type of the comments are documentation comments, which are normally used for the big applications where we have to generate or we have to do the proper documentation. In documentation comments, we used to start with slash star, and then for every line we have to write down the star also. At the end, we have to end the comments by writing down star slash again. So the difference between multiple line comments and the documentation comments is that the document comments used to start with slash star, and for every line we must need to write down the star also. While in multiple line comments, we used to write down the comments by starting with slash start, and then we don't need to write down the star for every line, and at the end we can write down star and slash. So these are the three different types of the comments, and these comments, whenever we write down in the program during the execution or building process of the Java programming language, all type of comments used to be discarded and they doesn't used to be part of the execution. Now I will open the NetBeans and I will create a new project where I will try to show all these three types of the comments. So NetBeans, I will open the NetBeans. Okay, I will create a new project. Comments tutorial, and then now by default, whenever you will create a new application, a Java file will be open. It will already be having some comments, and those comments are default comments, and if you want to change these comments, you can change those comments also. So let's try to change these comments first, which are appearing by default, like to change this license header, choose this and that. So let's try to change these first. So let's go to the tools, then templates, and over here we will try to find out licenses, and we will add the default license. Open in editor and change this default comments, and we will map it as per our own choice. I will write down this tutorial is an example covered during the Java programming lecture series. All the examples are also available on fypbox.com with full details. These examples are covered by Latif. So I just write down some default comments. I will save it, and when next time I will create a new project, instead of NetBeans default comments, these will be added automatically at the top of every project. So let's try. Let's save it, close this project. So I will create a new project and I will go with Java application. So I change the name, finish, and now you can see the default comments has been changed, and onward every time whenever you will create a new project, your own header comments will be displayed over here. Now let's try to add different type of comments as I said. So I will write down, let's suppose I want to go with the single line comments. So simple, I will write down double slash and I will say this is an example of single line comment. Okay, now if I will go to the next line and if I will write down anything without double slash, it will produce an error. And normally whenever you will see a red dot over here, it means that you are having an error. Okay, so if I want to add multiple lines by using the single line comments, for every line you have to use the slash. So for this second line, this will show 3 different types of comments. So I just write down the multiple lines of comments by using double slash. For every line you have to include double slash. All these type of comments you can write down from anywhere. You don't need to be like you don't need to write down the comments at start or at the end or at a specific location. But normally there is a trend that the comments used to be written just next to the relevant code where comment is being explained. Okay, so for multiple line comments you have to use slash star, and you have to end it with star slash also. First star and then slash, and in between that you can write down as number of lines as comments as you want. There is no restriction, and you can have only 1 line, you can have 10 lines, you can have 5 lines, and you don't need to add any slash, any star for multiple line comments. This test example is showing second type of comments, which is multiple line comments. I wrote just 3 lines of comments, just like normal. I'm writing a paragraph or sentences, and at the end I have star slash. That's it. So that is the second type of comments. The third type of comments we used to write down this way it is written over here. It is actually we need to have slash star at the start and at the end star slash, but for every line we must need to write down the star also, which will differentiate and will be considered as documentation comment. And when we will create the documentation of this application or project, these comments will automatically be included in the documentation file, which will be compiled and will be available along with the application for the help purpose. So let's try to have the third type. So as I said, we need to have slash star, and then this is an example of documentation type comments. Okay, again for new line you must need to have star. This will be part of the auto So by this way you can write down the documentation comments also. And as I said, whenever you will compile the code, all these comments will not be part of the compilation, and these are just for the help purpose. That's it for today's session. If you like my video, click on the like button and don't forget to share my videos. Thank you.